Conservative Republicans vote for this, there is no conservative opposition. They will own it. The debt will be owned by the Republicans. It's no more pointing fingers at the Democrats and saying, oh, they're the big spenders. It'll be all on Republicans' shoulders.
Breaking, Elon Musk just had his weight. I thought you were the fiscally responsible ones. Moment, and it's glorious. Turns out the GOP aren't the deficit hawks they cosplay as during Democratic administrations. Nope. Elon just fuck around and find out what we've all known for years. Republicans aren't tightwads. They're just selective sugar daddies for the rich. In a brutally honest tweet, Musk basically called them out for what they are. Big talk, bigger deficits. You see, when it's tax cuts for billionaires or blowing up the Pentagon's budget, it's an open bar baby. But when it's feeding kids or fixing roads, suddenly it's, what about the national debt? It's really nice to see even Elon's rocket eventually landed on reality. All this was discussed on a recent CNN panel. Let's watch the video together and let me know your thoughts.
On Capitol Hill, Donald Trump's agenda, the big, beautiful bill, is facing a critical test. Can Republicans make enough changes to get the bill through the Senate without making so many changes that it dies when it goes back to the House? Republican leaders have imposed a July 4th deadline on themselves. So they've given themselves just 1 month to get this bill to the president's desk. And considering just how big the bill is and that it's not quite beautiful enough for all of the Republicans in the Senate, that timeline is, shall we say, ambitious.
We're going through a lot of changes right now, but we want the House to recognize their bill when it actually comes back.
There's only 53 Republican senators who would like to see some changes. This bill only passed the House by one vote, and whatever changes we make, it's got to go back there for approval.
We've got, as you know, a lot of our members who would like to see more in terms of spending cuts, but in the end, it's all about the math, and it's what gets us 51 in the Senate and what gets us 218 in the House.
So that, of course, was Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Let's do that math. He can only afford to lose 3 Republican votes. Already, 4 GOP senators have said they're not on board. Math is it's so simple, I will do it on television. A half a dozen more Republicans appear to be on the fence here. So why is that? For many of them, it is the budget analysis that says that the bill would cut billions from Medicaid while adding trillions to the national debt. One of these holdouts, the Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, of course, finds himself at the center of Donald Trump's attention, not always a positive thing. The president writing this online, quote, Rand votes no on everything, but never has any practical or constructive ideas. His ideas are actually crazy, parentheses, losers, exclamation point, end quote. Senator Paul later told reporters that he wants to vote yes on the bill. But.
Conservative Republicans vote for this, there is no conservative opposition. They will own it. The debt will be owned by the Republicans. It's no more pointing fingers at the Democrats and saying, oh, they're the big spenders. It'll be all on Republicans' shoulders.
Okay, so all of that unfolding this morning through lunchtime. And then comes this afternoon. Elon Musk entered the chat. The now former Doge head taking to his platform, formerly known as Twitter, writing this, quote, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. He said, shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. All right, our panel is here, and we're also joined by CNN's Manu Raju, who's live for us on Capitol Hill. Manu, Elon Musk is not the first person to present the content in that post about a bill that adds trillions of dollars to the national debt. He sounds like a lot of Republicans that I've covered, you've covered probably in your time on the Hill. However, we are in different times, and it's a pretty remarkable statement from someone who is as close as he is to President Donald Trump. What has been the reaction from the Hill in the hours since that tweet came out?
It's completely scrambled the politics up here. Democrats cheering this. Chuck Schumer coming out to his weekly press conference touting this post by Elon Musk. Hakeem Jeffries, a Democratic leader, doing the same thing. Republicans, on the other hand, pushing back, including the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who I caught up with in the immediate aftermath of that post. He told me that he has spoken at length with Musk yesterday, and he said that he had tried to explain to Musk the virtues of the bill, and he also suggested that Musk perhaps could be driven in part by his opposition because the bill would call for the elimination of certain tax incentives for electric vehicles. And of course, Elon Musk owns Tesla.
Elon is missing it, okay? And it's not personal. I know that the EV mandate, very important to him, that is going away because the government should not be subsidizing these things. But for him to come out and pan the whole bill is to me just very disappointing, very surprising in light of the conversation I had with him yesterday.
And I asked Johnson whether or not he is in fact accusing Musk of attacking this bill because of his ownership of Tesla. He said, quote, "I'm going to let others draw their own conclusions about that." But there are significant concerns among Senate Republicans about the potential impact on the debt and deficits. The House-passed bill, according to the Congressional Budget Office, would add nearly $4 trillion to deficits over the next several years. And that is something that some conservative Republican senators have raised concerns about, including one senator, Utah Republican John Curtis, who told me earlier today that he has significant concerns about the debt.
The deficit in the House bill, according to CBO, would raise it by a few $1 trillion. Is that concerning?
It's hugely concerning to me. And if you look at the House bill, just to simplify it a little bit, we're going to spend in the next 10 years about $20 trillion more than the revenue we bring in, and they're cutting $1.5 trillion out of $20 trillion. Most of us wouldn't do that in our businesses, in our homes, and we certainly do it in the state of Utah. And so that's a big concern to me.
He went on to tell me that there will be a significant amount of work that still needs to be done in order for him to support this plan. And that's what I'm hearing from a lot of Republican senators, Casey. They want a lot of changes, but the Senate Majority Leader John Thune wants to push this through, get this through the Senate and onto the president's desk by July 4th. And that would require a lot of compromise within his own conference, because right now people are digging in and taking their positions and hoping ultimately the leadership listens to their concerns.
When you started this off saying the politics have been scrambled, that's your headline for today, our banner on the bottom. Manu Raju, thank you as always for your great reporting.